So every year for the past many years, I walk into CES and I have watched companies announce things that they have no business making. And every year, most of that stuff completely disappears. The prototypes go back to the warehouse, the press releases get very quickly deleted. And then by the following January, we're all pretending all over again that it never happened. This year though, 2026, I noticed a pattern. The vaporware isn't random. It's almost always a company stretching way outside what they actually do, chasing headlines instead of building products. Meanwhile, the stuff that's real usually comes from companies doing exactly what you'd expect from them to do, just better. So 3 companies showed up this year announcing things that made me well, you'll see. Before I get into all the different categories, there was a lot. This is one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it for years. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I want to give you guys a chance to win $500. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me your favorite product you've ever seen at CES. Give the video a thumbs up. Watch the video all the way through. Let you enter once per day. Let it run for 10 days. Open to anyone in the world. All the information you need, though, will be down below. Let's start with Dreamy. I've reviewed Dreamy's robot vacuums. They make really good ones. I've actually recommended their stuff before. So naturally, they announced a hypercar. Meet the Cosmera Nebula 1. Over 1,800 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds. 4 electric motors. Looks like a Ferrari had a few drinks with a Lotus. Green paint, carbon fiber, everything big, giant wing on the back. Missing an interior because it's just a shell, assumingly a very expensive, very pretty shell with some motors and promises attached. Dreamy says that they're building a factory outside Berlin. Production starts in 2027. And look, I know what you're thinking, but Xiaomi went from phones to cars and it worked. But Xiaomi spent years quietly building automotive R&D before they announced anything. Dreamy at least appears to have gone from vacuums to hypercars, kind of like what Dyson was trying to do in what feels like a long weekend. Second, LG's home robot, Meet Cloyd. This one kind of hurts a little bit because I want it to be real so badly. So it's a wheeled robot with 2 arms that can do house stuff, fold your laundry, grab stuff from the fridge, load the dishwasher, serve you breakfast. The demo I thought looked incredible. Really smooth movements, good object recognition, sort of tied their whole smart home ecosystem together. And I've seen this demo before, you probably have too, right? LG's been showing some version of home robot concepts since back in 2018. The commercial stuff for hotels and restaurants, some of that to their credit actually shipped. The home stuff, it's almost always next year, almost always almost ready. So I asked when Cloyd would be available. No price, no date, just we're working on it. Let's talk about Motorola's AI pendant, and they're calling it Project Maxwell. It's a little pearl-shaped thing that hangs around your neck and listens to everything. It's powered by their Kira assistant, can identify objects, read text, open apps on your phone. But here's the thing, Humane tried this. Burned through a lot of money. They did ship a product that not many people wanted, and then it unfortunately died. Rabbit tried the same thing with the R1. Similar result. The AI wearable category has a body count. And Motorola's response is to show a concept that explicitly says, quote, we don't know if we're actually making this. So Project Maxwell, Motorola is saying, is concept stage only with no certainty around commercial release. They're not announcing a product here. They're kind of just checking the water, seeing if anybody cares before they commit, which is way smarter than what some of their competitors have done. They have the R&D to make a product, make a concept, see people want it, and if they don't, move on. If they do, at least they've got the backing behind them. There's a lot of other announcements, but those were 3 that kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. This is what CES gives clicks to, gives a lot of the attention to, not shipping, just announce. There's sort of no downside to companies to show something wild and never delivering it. I really want to get to the real stuff, the stuff that you can actually buy and use and see. I am 40-something with 3 kids and a job that's got me traveling constantly. I can't go to the gym. I don't have time. So I've been at home trying to get myself into a shape that's not round by lifting 3 or 4 days a week. I actually packed a resistance trainer in my bag for this Vegas trip. I've been trying to do this, which I got made fun of. But I'm at the point where I need actual gym equipment. I just don't have the space for a full setup. So in that vein, I do want to thank this video sponsor, Speediance. So I'm at their booth checking out their stuff, and they've got probably the most perfect solution. So behind me is Gym Monster 2. So I'm doing a tricep extension in eccentric mode right now. On the way down, when I'm lowering my weight, it's actually increasing the resistance. That's sort of the phase where you build most of your muscle, and obviously normal weights, free weights, can't do that. There's also chain mode, which adds weight as you move through the rep. Up to 220 pounds of digital resistance, and it'll adjust in 1 pound increments. And it can do it either on the touch screen, which fully articulates, or with a Bluetooth ring. The articulation I thought was really cool too, because you can put in a bench and do a full bench press. One thing I was always concerned about lifting on my own with a bar was if I couldn't lift, if I hit that sort of breaking point. If I tilt this a little bit, it drops all resistance. And it'll sort of come down really gently too. Probably the best part of the whole thing too, there's no monthly subscription fee. Every piece of gym equipment that I can see around me requires like $16.99 per month. Speediance is doing. They give you everything you need. But that's not the only thing they have here. They also have the Velinix bike. This one is using a 2300 watt electric motor. So it is whisper quiet and the resistance changes instantly. I hopped on it for a quick kind of bike simulation and you can feel the gear shift. In fact, it's actually gears to shift. So you get the sort of real bike feel. This is meant to kind of train you for actual bike riding. It's also got a 21.5-inch screen if you want to watch like Netflix or a bunch of streaming apps while you're getting your cardio on. Speediance has a bunch of other stuff too. They also have a strap that'll give you real-time sort of analytics on your exercising and how you're doing. There's a bunch of other products they have coming too. If you're in the market for home gym products that aren't going to take up a ton of space in your house, I think Speediance has that market absolutely nailed. If you want to check them out, links in the description. There's another category here at CES that I think is probably the coolest, and that's like the comeback stories. And I picked 2 products that showed up trying to prove they can actually ship this time. So Sony and Honda have been showing a feeler prototype for years. I was actually there at the very first announcement. Every CES, every auto show, it's always coming soon. I don't always believe them. I felt like a concept that would never actually reach driveways, especially when they first announced it, like being able to play PS5 in it. But that's different now. Trial production has actually started. Showrooms are open in California. I've been there. I've seen them. They've got 24,000 demo rides, and a Fila 1 actually starts deliveries later this year. I'm not fully there, though, because they showed up at CES with a second car, the Afila Prototype 2026. A taller version of the sedan, more SUV-like, shipping 2028-ish. They're teasing the sequel for the first one reaches customers. That's the kind of thing that makes me a bit nervous. Had they not shown the second car, I would have thought absolutely this is going to be delivering this year. Until someone posts a road trip video or I see Forrest reviewing it, I'm keeping my sort of expectations a little bit in check. Pebble, this one I am rooting for with all my heart. You may have never heard of Pebble. Quick history. Pebble made smartwatches before the Apple Watch ever existed. The original Pebble, which I had and loved, was a Kickstarter legend. The company unfortunately went under. Fitbit kind of bought the carcass of what was left, and that probably should have been the end. The founder wouldn't let it go. They've actually quietly shipped a few products since the comeback, and now they are back at CES with the round 2. I think it's everything the 2015 version should have been. E-paper display that goes edge to edge, battery lasts 2 weeks, still thin and light, and $199 instead of, let's say what Apple is charging for an Apple Watch. The smartwatch market is brutal. Apple dominates. Samsung and Google kind of fight for what's left. Everyone else kind of struggles to gain a foothold at all. Pebble's not trying to compete with that. I think they're betting that some people just want time, notifications, and then maybe like step tracking and a battery that's going to last forever. Simple, focused, and actually achievable for a small team. Pre-orders are open and that will ship in May. I don't know if the audience is big enough to sustain them long term, but they're building something real and with sort of their actual capabilities for people who want it. And that's more than most CES announcements can say. So here's how I'm watching CES from now on. When a company announces something wild, I'm asking one question, maybe you should too. What were they making last year? If the answer connects to this announcement, maybe it ships. If the answer is like something completely different, it's probably going to be vaporware. That's CES, a trade show that rewards announcements over shipping, where a fake hypercar gets more coverage than a real vacuum, where 8 years of robot promises count as news, where like concept stage only gets a press conference. The real stuff is usually boring. It's iterative, a company doing what they're good at just slightly better. That doesn't trend on social, but it does show up in your house a year later. I will be back next January, and we'll see who delivered and who quietly hoped we just forget.